As a kid, I remember plopping myself in front of the TV for hours. I was probably exposed to hundreds, if not thousands of commercials, yet I only remember a few of them. Kool-Aid, Skittles, Got Milk. Why is it that of the thousands of ads I've seen on TV, billboards, social media networks, I can only remember a few? This idea is addressed in the book Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. The question they tackle is, how do you design an idea that sticks? In other words, why do some ideas survive and others die? It turns out that there is a formula to make ideas sticky, and any successful business, political campaign, or viral video aligns to that formula in some way. Just like the most memorable stories follow the hero's journey arc, the most successful marketing campaigns follow this one formula. The Heath brothers' acronym for it is SUCCESS. It stands for Simple, Unexpected, Concrete, Credible, Emotion, and Story. Simple. Finding a simple message is harder than it looks. Let's look at an example. Southwest's message is the low-fare airline. When you hear that, you know as a customer what you can expect from the company, a low airfare. As an employee of the company, you know that your business model is built on the idea that Southwest will keep its expenses at the bare minimum to ensure that they can keep their fares as low as possible. This simple message is a combination of a core idea and a compact one. If you were to expand its message, it might sound something like this. Southwest is an airline that makes sure its customers can purchase tickets at the lowest possible price, while the company's business model ensures that there are no additional products or services that would increase the price of a ticket. And this is the problem with most core messages. They are long, complex, and hard to follow. Simple means creating a one-sentence statement so profound that any individual could spend a lifetime learning from it. Think the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's short, simple, and insightful. But how do you create a simple idea that generates interest? Unexpected. When something happens unexpectedly, your expectations are being violated. One example is the company Nordstrom. Nordstrom is known for its outstanding service, but why? It's because its employees, known as Nordies, will warm up your car during the winter, gift wrap an item bought at Macy's, and iron a new shirt that a customer just bought for a meeting later in the day. The idea here is that when you go into a department store, you expect good service, but not much more. Nordstrom violates this expectation by surprising us with above and beyond service. The message is simple and unexpected. Why do we find prank videos so funny? Same reason. Usually a prank video is when someone does something that is against the norm. For example, watching a man stand in an elevator facing the back wall rather than the front doors. People simply freak out. Concrete. Ideas that are explained in terms of sensory information, images, smells, sounds, feelings, are naturally sticky. There have been thousands of stories told over the course of history, but the ones that stick into our minds are the ones with the concrete details. Think about the sour grapes fable. It illustrates a profound truth, but that truth is much more easily remembered through the details of the story. Driven by hunger, a fox tried to reach some grapes hanging high on the vine but was unable to, although he leaped with all his strength. As he went away, the fox remarked, "Oh, you aren't even ripe yet. I don't need any sour grapes." People who speak disparagingly of things that they cannot attain would do well to apply the story to themselves. It's easy to say that people who can't get what they want shouldn't get all butthurt about it, but that's a lot less convincing than the story of the fox and sour grapes. Simple, unexpected, and concrete are great, but how can you convince people to buy into your idea? Credibility. Credibility is often elicited with statistics, quotes, and stories by authorities. However, there is a much more powerful way to build credibility: the Sinatra test. Frank Sinatra wrote a song called New York. It goes,
"If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere."
The idea carries over into marketing. Here's an example. An Indian shipping company called Safe Express wanted to expand its business by being the only company to ship Bollywood's films. Their mission is simple: to guarantee safe and on-time delivery. But the Bollywood execs were skeptical. In their pitch to the execs, they told the story of how they handled the insane release of the 5th Harry Potter book. All the books had to arrive in stores across India by 8 a.m. Safe Express had to ensure that none of the stores got their books too early, which would allow some stores to start selling them before others. They also had to protect themselves from bootleggers. And guess what? They came through. The shipment was a complete success. When they presented this, they proved through their experience that if they could successfully handle the release of the Harry Potter books, they could handle the release of anything. They passed the Frank Sinatra test. Getting people to believe in your ideas is one thing, but how do you get people to act on them? Emotion. Most successful ideas and stories create some kind of feeling inside of us. Humans are wired to feel things for people. Mother Teresa said that if I look at the mass, I will never act. If I look at the one, I will. In order to get people to act, or if you're a marketer to buy, you must get them to first believe in your cause, but also care about it. Here's an example. In the 1980s, Texas faced a huge littering problem. Most of the people who were littering were, surprise, surprise, young Texan men. There had been a number of anti-littering marketing campaigns such as the Please Don't Litter and the Pitch In campaigns, but for obvious reasons, these both didn't speak to the young men that were littering. Texas hired a marketing firm to improve their message. The marketing firm knew who was littering and created a campaign that would directly appeal to the identity of these young Texan men. How so? They got famous athletes like the Dallas Cowboys player Ed Too Tall Jones to speak out against Texans littering. This campaign was labeled the Don't Mess with Texas campaign, and it worked. Young Texan men saw their role models speak out against littering in a tough Texan way, which made them feel as if tough Texan men don't litter, and therefore they stopped. Stories. Stories are hardwired into our psyches. We've been telling them for thousands of years. Why? Stories transport us into another world. They allow our imaginations to simulate a new reality while also teaching us valuable lessons. Stories are told and retold because they are entertaining and insightful at the same time. One story in the medical field is used and reused all the time. A nurse who worked in the neonatal intensive care unit noticed a baby had been fluctuating between a healthy pink color and a blue-black tone. She notified a doctor who believed it was a collapsed lung. Right before the doctor was about to pierce the baby's chest and insert a tube around the lung to allow it to reinflate, the nurse yelled for them to stop. She wasn't convinced it was a collapsed lung. She thought there was a problem with the baby's heart. The doctor pointed to the heart machine, which showed that there was no problem. The nurse put her stethoscope to check for a heartbeat. There was no sound. The baby's heart was not beating. They performed CPR and then pulled out the trapped air in the baby's heart to allow it to pump again. The baby was saved. This story is told to medical students. It is entertaining and it provides a profound piece of wisdom, warning people that they shouldn't rely too much on machines. The curse of knowledge. There is a villain in the story of ideas and marketing. The Heath brothers call this villain the curse of knowledge, and most experts fall prey to it. This is when we know something so well that it's hard to imagine what it was like not to know it. It becomes difficult for us to share that knowledge to beginners. If you've ever read a company's mission statement or an academic book, or heard an engineer talk about what he or she does, you know what I'm talking about. To summarize, making ideas stick is all about keeping them simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional, and story-based. Now, when you're sucked into a product's commercial or a politician's political campaign, you know why. It's not necessarily because the ideas you hear about are built on logic, but instead because they are built on the principles of making ideas stick. Thank you for watching this episode of Thought Monkey. Please subscribe, like, and share the video. It really helps. Also, head over to my website where you can sign up to get an email and be the first to know when I publish a new video. And if you're interested in buying the book Made to Stick, you can click on the link in the description box below.